Bow. Oh no, baby. How we doing today? It is Fourth and Fantasy. My name is Honcho, and this is my guy.
Rocco, call me. My name is Rock. Whatever, I fucked that
Who?
up. Let's go.
Hey, listen, we at it, David. It's a wonderful Thursday, y'all. I hope everybody's doing wonderful today. And let me tell you, work. Besides us, before we even get on the topic, as y'all see, we're looking at NFL free agents. It's kind of been a busy week, Rocco, don't you say?
Oh man, like that first day hit hard. Like there was shit happening. Like that free agency dried up in like the first 6 hours. Like
I'm telling you,
now
bro.
I'm just looking for little bitty moves, like just kind of crossing it. Coming across my X, my Twitter, my
Mhm.
Blue Sky, but there's not a lot happening anymore. That shit went fast and it went furiously, but it was fun. It was fun while it lasted.
Rocco, can we talk about that first day when Twitter broke? When free agency literally broke Twitter and nobody, I was trying to refresh. I saw people messaging me. I couldn't look at any message. That's how you know
It,
things was going
it,
crazy.
see, I love Blue Sky. I love my people in Blue Sky, but that's where X still beats Blue Sky. Like that breaking news just don't
Yeah.
happen on Blue Sky. Like it doesn't pop across your timeline. Like
Hmm.
you may get a reaction here or there, but
Hmm.
it's mostly people just kind of doing conversations. But as far as that breaking news,
I'm telling
fuck
you.
if X ain't the crack that you need on
I
days
was
like the
not the
opening
crack.
free agency bell.
Not the crack.
I would have I would have got rid of X years ago if it wasn't for the group chats and the way
Mhm.
it kind of just covers breaking news. I don't know if it's because of the algorithms in Blue Sky or it's just like the newsbreakers haven't made it over to Blue Sky. But yeah, when shit like that happens, there's no other
There's nothing
place
better.
like the
Yeah.
wasteland that is X Twitter.
I know, yeah, there's nothing better than X. I was just waiting for the notification that it was just popping off. And
Like
then we
I
do have
hate
our
myself looking there, but
no.
if you look past the first comment, it's Russian porn bots or
No.
people trying to push some kind of political agenda. But as far as that timeline, my crafted timeline, it's nothing better. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. Go
No,
ahead.
you're good, brother. And then, as you mentioned, we have our fantasy group chat on there where we have absolutely wonderful conversations. We don't have that on Blue Sky, so that's one thing that I think Blue Sky is a heavily missing on. Don't get me wrong. When Twitter was down, we went over to Blue Sky and we started posting the news as it was coming in, and then as soon as Twitter came back up, it was right back. So
Right back.
it was there was a couple of guys that first day. I was having a conversation with my coworker on a couple of the guys that were in free agency and or who were potentially on the trade market. One of them being Davante Adams. He was like, "Oh, there's no way that a playoff team pays anything close to 20 million for Davante Adams." He was like, "Oh, I would probably bring him to the Cowboys for 15 million." I was like, "He's not coming here for no 15 million, my man. Like he's not going anywhere for 15 million." I said the minimum to get Devontae Adams was going to be 20 million. No, that's not it. That's not going to be it. Devontae Adams has signed 23 million a year with the uh, I didn't forget what I forgot where he even went to. Oh, with the Los Angeles Rams. Like prediction number one, right off the bat. Then we was talking about George Pickens, and he was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, because once again, he's a Dallas Cowboys fan too. Love the Dallas Cowboys. He loves the Dallas Cowboys, and it's kind of funny to see our perspective on things, and because it's sometimes totally different. So He was like, "Oh yeah, I would love DK Metcalf on the team." I was like, "Yeah, but he's going to he's he's going to ask for a new contract.
Hmm.
Yeah, we could just bring him in on a 23, 24 million contract, easy." I was like, "He's not gonna sign." Oh, actually, I don't even think he said that. I think he said 20 million as well to come here. I was like, he's gonna get more than that. Ends up getting 30. Do I think DK Metcalf is a $30 million receiver? Fuck no. But
You're at your
no,
level of in mind. Think that dude's worth 30 million.
crazy, absolutely crazy, not happening. So it's the things that we saw. But let's look at these quarterbacks, Rocco, because on our previous video we hit some of these guys right on the head where we projected them. Sam Darnold to the Seahawks for 100 million at the total value for a 3-year contract. We kind of predicted that landing spot for him. How do you feel about Sam Darnold with JSN? Then we got him Kenneth Walker the third, Zach Charbonnet. We're waiting to see who's going to be there. Wide receiver two, probably somebody in the draft at this point. But what do you think about that landing spot of Sam Darnold to Seattle?
I think it's terrible. I don't know why they traded essentially Geno Smith for to sign Sam Darnold and
You
get
think Geno
rid
Smith better than Sam Darnold?
Fuck yeah, he is way better than Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, the fucking dickhammer that he is, has never been shit until he got lucky that JJ McCarthy got hurt, and he was mid. I
And he
mean,
got a little bit of
he had
flack.
the
Quentin
best
O'Connell.
receiver. He had the
Yeah,
best receiver on planet Earth. He had a great number two. In the second half of the season, he had one of the better tight ends, T.J. Hawkinson. All the while, one of the best offensive line calling the plays.
mm,
Let's see what he does in Seattle with a horrible offensive line that Geno Smith was running for his life at all times and still putting up top 12, QB seasons. Let's see what he does in Seattle where his number two receiver just got traded away, and his other number three receiver got cut. I love me some JSN, but I'm not even sure if that's a good fit for the type of routes that JSN wants to run. In that short and intermediate area, when Darnold wants to throw YOLO balls. I just don't see it unless they can, somehow fix that offensive line. We're going to see a lot of games like we saw in the playoffs from Sam Darnold. Once he gets hit a couple times, he starts seeing ghosts and he becomes a bum.
you don't believe in your previous offensive coordinator, Kubiak.
No, I mean, what did he show last year? He
What
had
did he have
one.
to work with though,
He
Rocco?
had he had two good get. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's in a vacuum, yes, but I mean, we didn't see anything, so I have nothing to go on. The offense
Oh,
was
that's true. I
terrible.
give you that.
They
Yeah,
had two good games when everybody was healthy, and they tried a couple of new things. And other than that, I didn't see anything. And
I feel
I
that.
don't care how good the offensive coordinator is, he can't fix the offensive line. I mean, what offensive line signings have they made?
None. I don't think so so far.
Yeah, I mean, the
Except for
offensive
defense on
line.
defensive line. Offensive line, not
The,
yet. But
the,
don't you think though? Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Right. He's going from and not, this is respect to Aaron Jones. We'll get on him in a moment. I still think Aaron Jones had a really good year, right? Whatever. Viking, we could say, would you say, this is going to be a two-part question. Would you say that the Vikings had a good Russian attack last year?
I said they were respectable. Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think the situation in Seattle, would you think it's a better rushing attack or about the same with Kenneth Walker III?
I like Kenneth Walker more. I mean, he needs to stay healthy. And they do have a solid backup in Charbonnet, so the
Hmm.
running game shouldn't be an issue there.
Okay. So I think and Kubiak, he likes to if situations are a little better, I think he wanted to run the ball more, and New Orleans. It just happened to go the way it did. Kamara got a little banged up. Then stuff throughout the season just went along. But I think having Kenneth Walker, and this is a big gift because he hasn't done it yet in the last 2 3 years. Can that running game be leaned on to save Sam Darnold? Won't say save, but to help him out so he doesn't have to lead the team. We're going. You like you said, you did mention some very key aspects. He's not going to have a Justin Jefferson anymore. He's not going to have a Jordan Addison. He's not going to have a Tyler Hawkinson. He's not going to have that offensive mind with Kevin O'Connell. So I still think you have JSN. We are going to see what they do when it comes to. Oh, and they just got Chris. Oh, sorry, that was the Texans. Yeah, they kind of fucked, brother. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, they either going to probably have to go get a rookie or something. But and okay, would you okay, hear me out? Would you feel better if they would? So you got JSN and they went ahead and drafted. Got you. Matthew Golden or like a Luther Burden.
Um, I don't know how much you can count on a rookie that's not, you know, not Malik Neighbors or
Ask, yeah, you're right.
Lad McConkey. I mean, none of these guys are can't miss prospects like we had last year. So, I mean, they could hit. They could hit. They might not hit. There's none of them that I would feel like 1,000% confident are gonna like kick ass in year one, especially with Sam Darnold running for his life in passing situations.
So okay, before we go into the second contract, I'm really super excited for, all us Justin Fields guys who held on to him this last previous year, didn't sell him, just thinking he was going to get another starting gig. We were rewarded, and someone literally just tried to ship me a. They tried to come get Justin Fields for like the 205. They were trying to send me. I was
It's
like,
late
and it
now.
was, yes.
Should
I
have
said
sent
it's
that
too
shit
late.
last year.
I was like, the price don't went up. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
The price of the brick going up.
Uh, hey, Rocco with it, yo. Rocco's with the shit. So, no, let me tell you, Justin Fields. I think this is probably one of the best landing spots. Now, he only signed. I think the 2 years is fine. They want to see.
Hmm.
They're going to give him those 2 years to see if he can actually, you know, do something with them. And I love it for their core team because it stays youthful. It's only $40 million, and 30 million of that is guaranteed. So you can really just say, for the most part, he's getting 15 million guaranteed each year on that one. What I love about it is Justin Jefferson can always flirt with a top 10 type season just off because of his legs. If
Hmm.
you remember the last starting season with the Chicago Bears, he had a really nice year on the ground. And excuse me, and then DJ Moore still had a really good year. I'm telling you, if once again, for all the ones who held on to Justin Fields, man, I just want to clap it up for us. Go ahead and clap it up because really, when I thought he was going to be an Atlanta Falcon last year, he still goes to a youthful situation at that, to where I think, and a new head coach, we'll see how it all gels out. I like what he compared with Garrett Wilson, who was his wide receiver at Ohio State.
Hmm.
I think that's a crazy pairing. What do you think about him?
Man, I like that locker room narrative, man. A lot of people were scared or nervous for Garrett Wilson. I'm completely opposite.
Thank
I
you.
think
Speak
he's
on
going to
it.
be hyper focused on Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson might get 150 targets, and I think we're going to see a similar situation to what happened with DJ Moore. that last year in Chicago where DJ Moore blew up and had a year that we've been
Hmm.
waiting for a long time. I think Garrett Wilson this year could have that year that we've been waiting for, and he could ascend, into that stratosphere that we've been waiting on. Because I mean, we see the talent. We
Yep.
see that Michael Jordan catches, in the back of the end zone. We saw all that, but we also saw Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, unless you like butt naked, wide ass open, he ain't throwing it to you. He'd rather throw to fucking Alan Lazard because nobody bothers to guard him.
I'm
And
telling
then
you, dog.
Davante Adams came, and Adams played good ball, and all that led to a little bit of limitation on Garrett Wilson's upside. But there's nobody left in New York. So I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a heavy running attack. I hope
Oh
to
hell
see a
yeah.
heavy running attack, and play action to Garrett Wilson, who's going to be the only legit target on that team. So I think it's wheels up for Justin Fields. We're going to see him, with a little. He's been humbled a little bit. He sat for most of last year, learned, from a great coach, and he's going to be giving the wheels to this offense, and this offense
Hell
is
yeah.
going to go as he goes. So, some of those great fun highlight plays that he made with Chicago, I think we're going to see those again. We're going to see those 60, 70, 80-yard touchdowns again
Yes.
that
Sir.
made him so much fun to watch and so much fun to have in fantasy football. The only guy I'm a little worried about is Brees Hall. Um, he's going to lose
Incredible.
some upside. He's going to lose some touchdown upside. Uh, Justin Fields is not going to be looking to throw to him out of the backfield that much. So I worry about him a little bit. But besides that, I couldn't find a much better situation for Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields to find themselves in 2025.
I'm telling you, brother. I have been once again. If y'all didn't know, I am a Cowboys fan, but I'm also, if you can't tell by that little sombrero right there, it has Georgia Bulldogs. Hold on, let me go get. So y'all know who. So y'all know what it is. So y'all know what
All
it
right, let's
is.
get some props in here.
You know what I'm saying, so you know what it is and you know what it ain't. You can stop playing with me.
Bulldogs.
So you know what? So y'all know how I'm feeling about Justin Fields, and I wish he stayed at Georgia because it would have been crazy to watch. But once again, I think it's going to be good for that overall offense and their trajectory of what they want to do, right? And don't
Hmm.
forget, yes, he had a disappointing rookie year, but Malachi Corley, I think, is still a player that intrigues me on what he can do. He was yet king of the 2024 rookie class. I still believe in him. He did have one of the most bonehead plays of the NFL year when he literally dropped the
I
ball.
I think his season ended right there on that play.
No,
They
literally,
were
that's
like,
I
"We're
saw
gonna
that.
try to get this guy in touch," and he fumbled his whole season away.
I saw that all over Twitter. Literally, they're like, Malachi Corder literally might never see the football for the rest of the year.
He didn't too. There
That's
wasn't no might about it. Like that was it. That was his season.
it was a wrap. So I believe in him. So I think overall they're going to be in a good spot. We just got to see how they all gel. But with chemistry, we saw it with Joe Burrow and Chase. He got his college wide receiver. We'll see what that goes for with Garrett and Fields. And we want to talk about your favorite boy, your favorite guy at the third, Danny Dimes, to the Indianapolis Colts. I, I kind of smell a little QB competition. That's what kind of. Hey, listen, if y'all, I wish y'all would have known. Y'all should have saw that boy Rocco. He was going crazy in the group chat on Twitter. It was a argument about who is a better quarterback right now. Is it Danny Dimes or is it Anthony Richardson? Rocco was going to bat for AR.
AR is my guy, but um, since that conversation happened,
Hmm.
I actually had a galaxy brain idea.
Okay.
Uh,
Speak
that
on
would
it.
that would probably work out well. It won't work out well for the Colts because in this scenario, Daniel Jones does become the starter
Hmm.
for the Indianapolis Colts, and it's going to be very mid. It's going to be ugly, and they're going to win like 8 games, not
He said
too
it's going
many
to be
games.
nasty.
They're not going to win games like they did with AR, even though AR didn't know what the fuck he was doing and still winning games with him. So think about that for a second. Um, but what if the Colts had enough of Anthony Richardson's bullshit and Anthony Richardson had to get traded somewhere with a strong head coach that would take him under his wing and teach him to learn about football, play the right way, get
Mhm.
into the film room. A strong head coach that
Yeah.
already did it for another guy that was a little immature and career kind of wasted away. A guy that just got paid $30 million guaranteed. What if the Colts trade him to the Pittsburgh Steelers and let him throw them fucking YOLO balls to George Pickens, throw those YOLO balls to DK Metcalf, and let's fucking make money? What you think about that?
You know what? That would be actually
That would
kind of tough.
fucking feed families. Don't tell me no different.
I love it. Hell yeah. I actually do
Get him
like, I
out
like
of
that.
get him out of Indianapolis. We had enough
I
of this
would,
shit.
honestly, I would want them to. At this point, I had enough with the Colts organization and whole, their front office. Obviously, they don't know how to run an organization at this point. And I can't really speak much on our Cowboys because we're fucked on our own right, but they're really fucked. Like at least we've tasted some type of success. They don't
Mm-hmm.
even know what they're doing with their own quarterback. They didn't haven't believed in their own quarterback. Let Anthony Richardson go somewhere. Mike Tomlin would get you right. I think Mike Tomlin's a little hurt that Justin Fields didn't stay or they couldn't get Justin Fields to stay. But I think if Anthony Richardson ended up going to the Pittsburgh Steelers, once he'll have better talent than he's ever had in with the Colts. Don't get me wrong. Do I like me and Michael Pittman? Yes. Am I going to take DK Metcalf over Michael Pittman? Yes. Am I going to take George Pickens over Michael Pittman Jr.? Yes. 100%. Now, can we talk about Arthur Smith? Yes, we can, since I'm not a very big believer on him and his overall scheme. But what I think could be really good, and that's a hell of a trade scenario. I
I'm
think
just
they're really
saying, like, I'm just saying, like, his arm talent and the way he wants to play football pairs perfectly with those two because they just want to run down the field and yak on people.
so. What
Just
do you, if you had to say, because everybody at this point feels like Daniel Jones could end up being the starter, or I feel like that them getting a, and I hate to say this because you're going to roll your eyes a little bit, of the caliber of quarterback of a Daniel Jones, I gives me the idea of Anthony Richardson's leash is very short. He's not going to, if like he starts fucking up early, it's going to be a wrap. They're going to pull him. Daniel Jones is your quarterback for the foreseeable future, and they're not going to do the same thing that they did last year when they benched AR, put him back in, and then put him back in. That's not going to happen again. If AR gets benched again, he's done in in a Colts uniform, and they're either going to be trying to move him. They've been as we spoke about on our last video. It's rumors they've been trying to move it, and people aren't really trying to pull the trigger. So,
uh,
mm,
all I gotta say is I don't know how you would say Daniel Jones is definitely gonna be start and act like he's a winner or competent. The dude
yeah, I've
is
been confused about that.
24 and 45 in his fucking career. I don't give a shit what team he played for. He's a fucking loser, and he's gonna stay a loser for the rest of his life. He's a proven backup quarterback,
Yeah.
and them even, considering Daniel Jones as an option to start for this season just shows me what a shit
They're not.
organization they are with an
Hey,
alcoholic owner.
serious.
They need to fucking get him out of there so he can go to a serious organization because that is a very unserious organization. And, you know, I don't know if it's going to happen there for him. So
I
get him
don't think
out of
so.
there, get him to Pittsburgh. Even if he has to, even if they re-sign a Russell Wilson, I'll be cool with that. Just let Mike Tomlin put his arm around him, say, "Look, young man, this is how we do it around here.
You know what I'm saying?
This ain't no bullshit organization. We're gonna show you how to do things the right way." I'd be cool with that, but don't sit the man and just have him waste away until he eventually just walks. Trade
Yes,
his
sir.
ass. Give him a chance to go somewhere
Mm-hmm.
with a legit organization.
Yes, sir. And that's hell yes. He needs to 100%. And now, let's check out these running backs, which has been kind of underwhelming. And I want and my regards to over underwhelming is not the players themselves, but the overall contracts. None of these guys are Saquon Barkley esque. They're not getting the contract that he's getting. Rico Dowdle right now being the largest contract so far is quite funny to me. If I'm being quite serious, now he
It's
went to
not really
Carolina.
the largest
Okay.
contract
Oh,
because he doesn't
it's just
have any guaranteed money. So
he does.
that's what I would worry about. And I
Oh, he
read that it's
does.
a $3 million deal with some
It's
like
listen,
bonuses built into it. So I think that's a funny money $6 million.
hey. Listen, $6 million is $6 million. I'm just saying.
Hey, you call 6 million by hook or by crook. I gotta say you were right on that one.
I'm trying to tell you, big dog. I be listening.
I don't know why y'all replaced him with Javante Williams, but
Bro, listen. I've since the signing, and we'll get to him. Since his signing, I've been a little bit more excited about him if we're able to get the Javante from 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, if you will. Najee Harris, we predicted this one on I think 2 or 3 shows ago. Ends up going to the Los Angeles Chargers. Perfect spot for him, I think, or just on a 1 year contract. He's going to be leaned on quite heavy. One thing, and I know people say that Najee Harris running style is boring. Like he's just a boring running back. But there's something that you have to appreciate. One, about the running back position, and two, about a dynasty player in general. Reliability and productivity.
mm-hmm,
Productivity.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Najee Harris has been healthy as hell, and he's had multiple 1,000 yard seasons. However you want to spend that, however you want, how much you value a 1,000 yard season, he's gotten them. It might have been boring, but he's gotten 1,000 yard seasons. We saw what J.K. Dobbins could do in that Chargers offense. He, in my opinion, well, Steelers done changed quite a bit in the last few days, right? So my opinion may change here in a bit in the next coming weeks. But we could almost say that he's going to a better offense in Chargers. Do you agree?
Oh, I mean, it's not even a question. I mean, the Chargers have a quarterback, so the Chargers, I'd say the Chargers are comfortably a lot, like just million times better than Pittsburgh. I mean, Arthur Smith. Do we have to say anything else? I'll say this. I have some Najee Harris on my teams, and yuck. I mean, it's like one of the most. It's like watching paint dry to have
I'm
him on
telling
your
you,
teams. I mean, he's a running back too for some teams, and you feel more comfortable if he was sitting on the bench. But him going to the Chargers, I think, increases his fantasy value big
100%.
time because Now he's in a good offense. He's with a good quarterback. He's with a team that wants to lean into the run, but won't like have him running zone plays like
Hmm.
outside zone plays, which guy that's running like a 4.7 is probably not a good idea. And he's gonna run a lot of shit off tackle, and
Yep.
he's gonna be reliable for that 4 yards, and sometimes he'll get a little bit more. But I could see him easily getting double-digit touchdowns in this offense, and they don't really have a number two. So um, as a rookie, he was a really nice pass catcher. I could see that coming back to his game too. So
Yeah.
um, he went from a guy that um, you know nobody really liked. He's just reliable because he
He's
plays
reliable.
to
He's
a
good.
to a guy that could push for a top 15 running back in the league, if not better.
I was just about to ask you that, Rocco.
He's a three down. He's got a three down skill set. And unless they draft another running back high in this draft, he's going to have a lot of that backfield to himself.
So is that what you're calling right now? Is Najee Harris is going to have a top 15 RB season this year?
Hot take. I think he can be a top 12 to top 15 guy.
I like it. I'm gonna go right behind you. We're gonna down that hill, and we're gonna come back after, and we're gonna clip. Y'all can go ahead and clip that. And these rest of these guys, I mean, don't get me wrong. Ty Johnson, I think towards the end of the year had like one game. One of the more sneaky ones I kind of like is Elijah Mitchell for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's kind of he has some relevance. He's just always been about injuries. He could just never stay healthy. But I
Hmm.
do that's a low key signing for me. We
Speed.
talked we talked about the next guy below him on Twitter a little earlier today. Raheem Mostert went to the Raiders. Oh, hold on now. That might be a sneaky location for him.
He's a weapon. I mean, that team is definitely gonna draft a running back. So I wouldn't get too hot and bothered about him being the starting running back for the Raiders. But
Mm.
he's a weapon. He can catch the ball, and he's got 4.3 wheels. So if he gets the ball in a little bit of space, he can take the ball to the house. So I like him in a team that doesn't have a lot of weapons. I think they can find some creative ways to get him the ball. And you see, Las Vegas building a competent team that's going to be fun to watch.
Mm. No, I didn't even mean to jump over my boy. I got just too excited about the conversation. Javante Williams. Let me tell you. All right,
You
when I
tell
first
me,
saw
because that's your
when
guy.
I
That's your team.
when I listen when I first saw the name pop up, I was like, all right, we're making movement, and it's very cost efficient. He didn't cost it was only cost us $3 million for a guy who is only about to be 25 years old. If you go back and look at his rookie year, there were certain things he was like. So there were certain plays that I was like, "Oh shit, this like he's really going off." I don't see Rico making those same plays. And don't get me wrong, I really loved Rico last year. We hit the opportunity and got him the chance he just got with the Carolina Panthers. I think he will be a wonderful RB2 with them to spell Chuba. But with me, at the end of the day, when I'm looking back, I'm looking at a couple of those clips from Javante. He 2 years ago tore his ACL and I believe PCL. It might be either ACL is either ACL and PCL or ACL and LCL. One of the two ligaments I know he tore up in his knee. Really bad injury. Not every player come back super quickly. Usually those injuries might take 2 years to really get back to your former self. If we get pre-injury Javante, and I still don't even think he's going to be our starter. I think he'd be a wonderful RB2 for us. The rookie running back that we draft, whether it's the first round, second round, third round, I think will end up being our starter. But man, if we could just get Javante back to his previous form, I really do like our Russian attack more than I would last year. Now, he got to come out and show he was actually pretty productive when I was looking back at his stats. I think he's going to be primarily used on third downs because he caught the ball quite a lot over the
Hmm.
last
Hmm.
2 years, where he had I think over 90 catches, and then he's actually a really decent pass blocker, better than Rico, I would say. So I think that's where some of the factors that went into, us going with Javante over Rico. And honestly, I think the Cowboys thought he was going to get paid more, and they were going to try to pay. Now they could have done. Probably could have done the same deal as what the Carolina gave him with 3 million, and the rest of his incentives. But upside wise, I like Javante, man. I'm actually quite excited.
I think they got Javante Williams for a specific role, like you were saying. His pass blocking is, it's kind of what's keeping him in the league. And I think he was kind of drafted to be in that 2 minute offense type of role where he can, block and catch passes out of the backfield.
Mm,
But like you said, the Cowboys are definitely going to. I would almost bet them drafting somebody in the second round, maybe like Caleb Johnson
mm.
or whatever running back slips, whether it be Caleb Johnson or Woodshot Judkins, whoever's
Juckins.
there, whoever's there in a second. I think they're either gonna pick them there or they gonna trade up to get whoever they like in the second. And I think that's going to be your first and second down guy. But I think Javante Williams, I think he's kind of locked into being that third down back, just on the strength of his blocking ability. And he comes cheaply. I don't know if he's ever going to get back to the guy he
Mm,
was as a rookie. He had some serious leg injuries, and just some guys come back from it, and some guys are just never the same. You know, and he wasn't a very explosive athlete before
mm.
that. He relied on his yards after contact,
Yeah, he got a little
his
pop to
three
him.
down
Yeah.
and his three down skill set. Um, if you can get that guy again, that would be great, and he could be a starting caliber guy if he gets back to that. It's just been so long since we've seen that out of him. I'd have to see it before I would rely on it, but I think in the interim, he does have a very specific role that's very valuable for a team. I mean, a lot of games are won and lost on a 2 minute drive, and as far as a fantasy contributor, those 2 minute drives, that can make up a whole game worth of catches because the guy can get three catches for 40 yards in a 2 minute drive and be useful. So
Yeah.
um, it's funny. Somebody actually sent me a 26 second form. I smashed my fucking phone so fast I almost broke it.
Really? I just offered this trade. I mean not trade, but off of him signing to the Cowboys. Somewhere sent you a second.
Somebody, I guess they're a Cowboys fan. I woke up to this trade. There was no negotiation.
He said I need that.
I
He
think
said
I
I need.
had I think I had any year second on it for like the last 2 months,
Mm.
and somebody found it. So I think that same guy's in another league where I own Javante. So I'm gonna try and get a 25 second.
Hey, yeah, man. If you have him, go ahead. If you want to try to sell him, go ahead. This might be the time to do it.
It is the
Wouldn't
time.
because honestly, once we get this rookie running back, that's going to die down super quickly. Now let's check out these wide receivers, which I'm pretty. It's like it goes from really top level to yeah. So we have once again Davante Adams being a top contract signing with the Los Angeles Rams, 2 years, 44 million, 26 million guaranteed.
Mhm.
It's a good spot for him. We really do like that. With Justin Herbert gets his wide receiver too to pair with Lad McConkey, and I think that would to go with Najee Harris. That's going to be a very underrated offense. I think going forward and what they. Oh, sorry, I'm over here messed up. Los Angeles. I'm getting mixed up. I was like too many Los Angeles. Los Angeles Rams with Puka Nacua, who he may come off that 17. He paid Puka obviously because he's had 17 his whole career, and Puka I think is changing his number to 12.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
yeah, Davante Adams, Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, fuck their tight end because who cares? And then you got Matthew Stafford. I think that's a. And then if you want to throw Blake Corum in there, you can throw Blake Corum in there.
Yeah, I wanna. I mean, can we have a moment of silence for Jordan Whittington's breakout? Because it's not
Oh,
happening.
bro!
Now,
Oh my god!
all of those picks you sent away, you might as well. light him up and smoke him
Or
because he ain't
don't
he ain't gonna be a thing. Because by the time he gets his chance, you
don't
know,
talk to me like that,
he's
dog.
gonna
Oh
be
my
like
god,
26 years old.
I'm
Sorry,
so pissed.
brother. Sorry, I
Yo,
had to do that to you. That's
yo,
that's why I've been kind of laying low in the trade market, man, because so many guys get nuked at in free agency and in the draft.
bruh.
I try to
Right,
stick with the guys that I know got a solid role.
bro.
I
And you
mean,
know what
look,
makes
I got a lot of Whittington. Like, don't get me wrong, I got a shitload of Whittington. I
but
just
you
had to
wasn't
move
sitting
for him.
you wasn't sitting no
No,
trades
I
or
got
nothing,
him up for waivers in the offseason,
bruh.
like a responsible adult.
Bruh.
I'm
Like
just fucking with
I'm so, I am so upset about that shit. Not only
you.
do they sign Davante Adams, they also signed back Tutu Atwell. So no, I got Davante Adams, I got Puka Nakua, I got Tutu Atwell, and now this motherfucking Joy Will. I feel like I was I paid him my top price I sent out was like a 212. Oh my,
Ooh,
oh
you could
my,
have had Brenton Strange at those prices.
oh my. I'm hurt,
Start
y'all.
starting tight end for the Jags.
Listen, this is where we live. This is one of our teaching moment. Maybe, just maybe, before you start going boatload crazy on a prospect that you absolutely love, wait to see after free agency and if they get. I got literally nerfed in about the first 3 hours of free agency, literally.
Hey man, I've been playing this game a long time, and I think my championships last year like taught me a little bit more patience. Like
Yeah.
I'd have been on that shit.
No,
That
Bronco.
that 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 workload kind of slowed down my trading this offseason. I'm gonna get into it now. Now that we got landing spots and the draft's coming
Mm.
up, like now is like peak trade time now.
Now I want to talk to you about these next two contracts because I think they were basically based. They're practically the same in a way, and they were kind of went off of each other. Josh Palmer to the Buffalo Bills, and then we get Darius Slayton back to the Giants, resigning him back to the Giants. I've never really been like Darius Slayton. He's had a few, games, hit sprinkle games in there where he's
Hmm.
been a serviceable producer. And then you have Josh Palmer. I don't see how Josh Palmer got. And I guess that's the going right now for that his tier of receiver. But for fantasy purposes, are you even excited for Josh Palmer and with the Buffalo Bills? Are you excited to see Darius Slayton back with the Giants? Mm. Are these guys that you even have
Um,
on your
I have Palmer in a couple places. I think he's a solid professional, but he's not anything exciting. He's a very average wide receiver. The good thing is that there's no clear hierarchy in Buffalo, so he could emerge as
what you mean, Keon?
not yet, not yet. He got to show me a little more. Khalil Shakir is probably the closest thing to that,
Yes,
though,
I was
and he's a
kidding.
he's
Yeah.
a he's a good player, and there may be even more higher level for him to get to because he's kind of come from a lowly draft. I think he was a fourth round pick
Mhm,
to where he was the number one target in that offense.
mhm.
Uh, but like I said, Josh Palmer could very well find a role with Buffalo because there's no real hierarchy. There's not like a Puka Nakua and a Davante Adams in front of him. So he could definitely find a role. I
Mhm.
wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't trade for him. If anything, I would put him on the block and see
He's probably on waivers. You think
if
so?
anybody else. I think he's on teams. I mean, the leagues we're in are so fucking deep.
Bro, you right.
That guys like uh, Noah Brown are still rostered. Guys
Yeah.
like MVS are still rostered from his little
Parker
run with the
Washington.
Saints.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
those
yeah,
guys.
those
Yeah.
guys, those guys are all rostered unless you got a shallow league. But I left that shallow league because it was run by assholes. So along with like 75% of the league. But that's neither here nor there.
So I think well, like
Kind of rambling.
Khalil Shakir, he's going to be your starting slot. That's he gonna be your starting slot guy. Josh Palmer is your out, and I guess projecting rise. Keon's going to be your outside guy, and Josh Palmer is
Hmm.
going to be your outside guy. So
Yeah,
Keon's your X. I guess I'd rather have. I guess you got. I'd rather have him in a Z, that Z spot, like playing the. I guess Josh Palmer could be your X, but body wise, I want it to be Keon. Is it, I just know they're gonna be those gonna be your outside guys, basically.
your problem is what's weird for that team is I feel like Keon would be better as a big slot, but
He's your better slot.
You got Khalil Shakir, and you got and you got Dalton
Kincaid,
Kincaid who's going to work
yeah,
inside. So I think they need a legit X. I don't think Darius Slayton's there. I think he can work outside, maybe in a Z role. But that's a team, believe it or not, even with all of these little receivers they got, I could see them, drafting like a Trey Harris at the end of the
yeah.
first and
I can
sticking
see
him
that too.
outside. I think that would kind of complete their wide receiver room because I think that's an archetype that they don't have unless they're comfortable with sticking Coleman outside and hoping he kind of grows off of last year. I know your guy Jay the Eagles fan um, thought he was the number one wide receiver in that draft. I don't know that take ain't really hitting just yet. I mean,
It ain't.
welcome to come on anytime you want, Jay, and defend that one. But yeah,
Remember that one?
I think he would be a better big slot, but I just don't see that role available. So um, yeah, I
You just
think
got to
they're just
work
gonna
at it.
kind of. I think they're just gonna kind of roll with what they got. You know,
Yeah.
if they do draft a Trey Harris, that could be a sign that Coleman just may never fire there.
And the one guy that I think could have still one more decent fantasy season, but he also went to the land of where wide receivers go to end their careers. DeAndre Hopkins signed with the Baltimore Ravens. How do you feel about Spot? Do you still think my boy D Hop, do you still think he has some juice left in him to be? We saw Steve Smith go to the Ravens, still be able to produce. We saw Anquan Bolden to go to the Ravens, still be able to produce. Deshaun Jackson had a couple sprinkled plays around there. We can shoot Michael Crabtree, a few other guys. We can go deeper down the woods. But obviously Zay Flowers is your wide receiver one. You got Rashad Bateman. Does Flowers become your new slot? And it goes DeAndre Hopkins on the outside, Zay Flowers in the slot, and then you have Bateman out on the outside.
I mean, it could be. I mean, let's not get it twisted. Hopkins is a little washed, um, so I wouldn't have too high of an expectation for him. I mean, the guy
He's
only
wide receiver
got.
three.
I mean, the guy got $5 million, and none of
He's
it was guaranteed. So
um,
he could be a camp body at those numbers. I mean, they could cut bait on him at any point.
if he doesn't
So,
look good, yeah, yeah.
but I think I think he's a good guy to have in the locker room. I think he can help some of those younger receivers, and I think he's an improvement on like their wide receiver three,
Mm.
um, who
Was Nelson Aguilar
Tylan Wallace or
and
Nelson
Tyler
Aguilar.
Wallace? Yeah,
Um, I think he's a guy that'll come up here and there and make a big play because he still has great hands and he's going to
mm.
be the third option. So if he can be crafty, he can make plays. I wouldn't count on him to be fantasy viable. I'm just talking in the IRL, kind of perspective. And I think he'll help Lamar Jackson by just having another solid guy out there.
And he actually
I'm
might be
su-
wide receiver. He might be like the fourth option if you're really thinking about Mark Andrews and likely.
I'm still waiting on Mark Andrews to get traded. They've been saying they're going to trade him all offseason.
I don't please don't because where
I
he, I
need,
mean
I need likely tight end one season.
um,
Been waiting for it.
I have too many
Mark
an- too.
An-
Mm-mm.
Mark Andrews to the Chargers. Who says no?
I have too much Andrews for that shit to happen. Now, if he
He
got
goes
traded
to
to
the
like,
Chargers, you'll be fine.
if he got traded to
You'll
like,
actually be better off probably.
I would, yeah, if he got traded to the Chargers, sign me the hell up. But
They need a solid
Harbaugh,
tight end.
the brothers Harbaugh, you want Mark? I have a little bit of Mark Andrews on it. Hey, brother, I know we at the kitchen table, but sure, I might want me some Mark Andrews. Hey, then how about I said we talk short fourth? Yeah, brother, I'll take that. That's the Harbaugh brothers having a conversation at the dinner table. I'm telling you, let that shit happen. Then yes, Mark Andrews can very much get traded for all I give a fuck. But if he doesn't, I want him to stay with the Baltimore
I
Ravens.
think the real headline is like all of these wide receivers are fucking trash, and Davante Adams and Cooper Kupp could both be wide receiver ones in 2025.
No. There's been a couple tight ends that signed.
Bruh,
Hey,
look at
your
that
boy.
bullshit. Look at that bullshit. This fucking garbage ass fucking Jawan Johnson got more money than fucking Evan Ingram, who actually did something with his life before.
I was waiting for it.
Like the Saints just be fucking shitting, like just flush money down the toilet, light it on fire, throw it off of a bridge, like fucking funny money that the Saints got. The Saints didn't even have no money, but we throwing $30 million at fucking Jawan fucking Johnson. Give me
Hey,
a
yo,
fucking break. Get out of
when,
here.
when I saw the notification go off on my phone, I was like, oh, Rocco's gonna be pissed.
$21 million guaranteed.
Rocco was gonna be pissed.
$21 million guaranteed.
Yeah, I didn't
Like,
understand
is
that
you
one.
shitting me?
I thought y'all had. I really was hoping he wasn't going to sign because I like y'all backup tight end Dalen Holker. I think his name is
Hmm.
out of Colorado State. I like him, so I thought he was going to get his chance. Juwan Johnson got signed back, pissed me the hell off.
I mean, everybody's saying we're gonna draft Tyler Warren, but we're gonna sign Jawan Johnson.
He said, "Oh,
Jawan Johnson, $30 million. Like that guy's not a $3 million tight end. 30 million. I know a lot of it's funny money, but what's not funny is that 21,250 guaranteed fucking teed. Like,
yeah,
what kind of pictures does he have of the GM to be getting that kind of money? We
that's crazy."
extended Derek Carr so we can give Jawan Johnson 21 million guaranteed.
It does say potential out 2 years, 21. So y'all could get out after the second year. He said, "I still don't want his ass."
I want it out after this year. I've been wanting out of the Jawan Johnson business.
That is funny as hell. I saw that. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait to see what Rocco says." And then you sent it in the
What?
chat. So, what do you think about Evan Ingram to the Denver Broncos? I really like that
That's
spot.
the guy that the Saints could have gave 21 million guaranteed to. Evan Ingram didn't even get 21 million guaranteed. And Evan Ingram in 2023 had 114 fucking catches. I don't
Hmm.
care if he was banged up. Jawan Johnson was banged up. All these tight ends get banged up. But for Jawan Johnson to get 5 million more guaranteed than Evan Ingram, that's a
That's
travesty.
that's travesty. That's blasphemous. Actually, that's crazy work.
That's
And I
dumb.
don't.
That's the Saints. That's the Saints doing their best to drive away the fans. The fans are already going to show up in paper bags next year. You just trying to like just cut them in the face with that shit.
You know what? Me and my coworkers were saying today. We were like, "How are the Saints paying these people?"
It's all funny money. That's why I say everybody always says, "Oh, the Saints, they $100 million over the cap," and then the season comes along and they give it Jawan Johnson 21 million guaranteed. They signed the top safety off of the market, Justin Reed. They're making moves when they should be rebuilding. I don't understand it. It makes me mad. It makes me real mad. It
Yeah,
makes
that's
me
it.
mad. Like
That's
like I would take 0-17 over what we seeing here. This mediocrity that the Saints are locked into every single year. I would just love to see the bottom drop out.
I
Like,
mean, you don't think
let's
him and
start from the bottom and get
you don't
there.
think you don't think him and David Carr got a sneaky watch? But David Carr back, he could have a good top 15 tight end season.
David, Derek Carr going to throw him into a concussion. That's the only thing he's good at. Shit, Chris Olave's still trying to find his brain.
Yeah, bro, I don't know what y'all doing. To be honest with you, and I'm trying to figure out once again. Y'all just got the good old boy Kellen Moore. See what he can whip up for your offense. Maybe he really does. Like maybe when he has some input, like yo, we have to bring back Juwan Johnson at all costs.
Mm-mm. No, Mickey Loomis is pulling all the strings.
He
Mickey
said not at
Loomis
all.
made Kellen Moore his little bitch boy as soon as he gave him that contract. Because if Kellen Moore had even one set of balls, he would have fucking told him, get Carr the fuck out of here. I don't want to fucking work with Derek Carr. Derek Carr is mid. He's got a bad attitude, and he concusses all of the offensive players. Get him the fuck out of here. Nobody likes him.
I see we
Get
both
that
got
get
some.
that eyeliner out of here.
We both have some strong opinions about our teams and the trades made so far, and it's only getting started, baby. That's just only, and we're still in legal tampering. We haven't actually even got to the actual free agency part of it. We're going to have a lot more news. That's just the players that have been this first week. We're going to
Yeah,
see
we
what
didn't
more.
even get into the trades.
Yeah, we didn't even get into the trades yet, so it's
We got to get on those on the next episode because we running
yeah.
out of time here.
Yeah, so listen, until next time, this is always Fourth and Fantasy. We got more work, more grind. We actually just got over 800 subscribers, I think this past week. Still growing, still flowing. Thank you for everybody who tunes in, checks in, every new subscriber that we get, everyone who taps in with us on Twitter, every discussion, every dialogue, everyone who comments. We appreciate it all. Everyone has a good rest of their night, whether it's a day, whether you're about to go to bed. See you next time on Fourth and Fantasy. I am Honcho, and this is my guy.
Rocco, thanks for joining us, man. This was fun.
Yes, sir. Next time, Rocco. Be good.
Absolutely.